I have my PHP to begin the loop and my PHP to stop the loop. And then I have my HTML in here. And then here I'm just embedding just enough PHP for those dynamic variables. So in some ways, this is, in terms of output, the opposite of this. This begins with PHP and goes to HTML, where we have our variables here, and then we're concatenating them into a big string that we're sending to the output buffer. And this one says, oh, I have this wonderful HTML document, and now I can output HTML, and oh, I'm going to sneak some PHP in here, and then I've got a loop. So for however many rabbits there are, it will output as many rows. Does that help you,
Okay.
Munya?
Well, I think my problem is linking the array to that.
Okay, so your for each would be in your,
Ah, of course, yeah. The for each, yeah, okay.
yeah.
For each.
So
Uh,
if I have uh, folks equals I think I can do that. Help me correct this. What's wrong with declaring an array this way? I don't think it should care.
mm,
And does it care that that has to be that? No. How do you have your array declared?
mine is a for each. Hold
Okay.
on, I need to look at it. I need to take a look at it.
All right, so it's array and, oh, there we go. Array equals brackets. Yeah, it should like those brackets. $sign array equals, and then that's key.
I've got, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not. I guess mine is the. I'm just using the student array and then letting letting the array populate the numbers automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I've created my array.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think why I should see, I should not have to specify a name value pair. There we go. See, I should do that.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the one I'm using. That's the one I'm using.
Okay, good. So that would be array. There we are.
And then just list the names.
Okay, so now do you have an array for names and an array for user IDs? Like, are they two separate
Um,
arrays?
no, I've only got the array for the names. So I guess I'll need to create an array for the user IDs.
So those, as long as they're lockstep, the same user as the first, the second, the third, then you can just index those. You could treat them, they're almost like a multi-dimensional array, but they're not because they're separate arrays. So should we do folks as F? I think you can do that. Here we go. And here, if I check this one, then that would be F. And then like I might put F there. So that should echo those links for those people.
Hmm.
Let's see. Shall we see? Save, and then it would be localhost, scenario 2, Josh, first, another user, third, and let's go put in here and then of course that look's not going to work because that goes to the first, that goes to another, and that would go to the third. So give you something to think about.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have to analyze that a lot.
Okay.
Cause,
All right, well, good.
I get the array part. I just need to get the rest of it.
Alrighty, good.
Okay. Yeah, I think for the most part, I get the link part now, which was the part that was really, I think, vexing me the most. That's just the HTML part. Okay.
Okay. All right. Niharika?
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Is there something you'd like to discuss? You were going to show us your
Um,
MySQL from yesterday.
okay, I can show you now.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You want to
Here,
explain to the
yeah.
students what you did?
Okay. Actually, I made a connection with my database using the local host, and I created a web development there database. In that web development, I created a table named persons.
Okay.
In that, I created one row with my name and city, like that. First name, last name, and the city, like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the database I used. And here is the web development which I created
Okay, that's your
within the
schema.
table name person.
Uh-huh.
That is the person. In that I created this row, Niharika, and the last name and the city.
How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Anjiru?
Pronounce
Yeah, how do you pronounce
Angiru.
Angiru?
Yes, Angiru. Mm, that's it. And I made the connection and closed it here.
Okay. The only thing I can say in your assignment, you need a header with a change log at the top of
Okay.
your, that's just a style thing. Let me see who did a really nice one. Um, Very good. And you like the game bingo.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the output I get.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. This is
Okay.
the previous one, actually.
Yeah. You're cooking with gas.
Uh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, let me show you an example of a good header. So just give me a second and then I'll make myself the presenter.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm going to make myself the presenter. So John did a very good job on his header. Of course, he had a little help because we did a video for this one. Uh, so he just has a nice comment block at the top. So you know what file name this should be, who owns it, what the purpose, and maybe any other files it depends on. For you, it might say, hey, it depends on
Oh,
a certain database schema. And then enough of a change log that if you go back um, and make some tweaks or add some new functionality, it shouldn't be more than either a major change or more than a day. Then you just add a comment here. So that when someone's looking at it who didn't write it, you might have an idea of what the purpose was. And
okay.
in some of our assignments, we may resubmit the same thing. Um, like I may say, go add some features to this, and so you'd resubmit it, and you'd want to have the change log indicate that.
Okay.
So your assignment was probably nearly perfect except for that.
Okay.
So that's what you want to do. And I want to show partly why it's important about um, the file names. So these were the assignments that I was grading, and um, when the file names follow a standard naming convention, it's much easier for me to find the assignment. So could you imagine this directory grows if we have 30 students, it grows to 30 files. And so I'm not quite finished grading yet, but I've got some of them graded. Overall feedback on the index assignments were good. For those that I've graded, you have feedback in Dropbox, and you also have something that you may not have seen before. Oh, sorry, let me log out. I have a fake student I can log in as at. All right, so my fake student turned something into late assignments, and there's feedback. So now you'll see something like you'll get the number of points, the file submitted, and then you'll get a rubric that um, says, okay, here's your overall score, and then here's how I scored the assignment on the rubric. So you may not have seen that with anything else. And then for these first ones, for I think everybody, I have a graded version, which you can see here, like I'll put check mark. So just a comment about something that was good or something that needed some attention. So like the comment I might would have made here is that these really should be on separate lines for readability. I might have made that comment. Um, so that'll be something that you may not have seen in other classes. All right. Anything else for today? Going once, going twice. All right. My apologies for being late. Uh, I'll be on Podio this weekend if you have issues. And then I'll have new assignments posted for you tomorrow. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy your Saturday.
Thanks for your help.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes?
I didn't started this Robin's Nest assignment.
Okay.
If I have a doubts, can I email you?
If you have
Any doubts, then can I email you the doubts?
questions,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
post them in Podio on the activity line. So go. It helps me if everybody asks the questions in front of everybody else, because then if you have a question, I can guarantee somebody else does. So I believe I created a discussion. If we go look in discussions, oh, the first one right here. I created a discussion for Robin's Nest. So this is where you'd put questions and I'll answer them here.
Okay. Actually, how to install this Robin's Nest web application?
Okay. It's deceptively simple. When I tell you how to do it, you'll say, "Oh, I wish I had a V8." Old joke. So let's see here. I have the book examples, and so there's Robin's Nest. All you need to do is copy this to the directory in your in your web server. So here
Okay.
is mine. I've copied them to my web server. I went to functions.php, and that's where I have to go through my alphabet to find it. That's where, for instance, you could simply use these credentials and hook to the database on Learnomatic, or you could go create a new schema on your database or create a new database, new schema with your own credentials and connect to your own. Either one. I think
Okay.
the challenge says connect to your own. And
Okay.
when you run it the first time, so when you go to, it would be localhost Robin's Nest, it's going to pick up the very first time and see if you have um, if you have tables, and if you don't, it'll go create tables. If it can't connect, you'll get a nasty message that says I can't connect. Otherwise, you'll get this, hey, you need to. Well, actually, it'll tell you need to log in because it thinks that I'm logged in. Um, so you would get something like this,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
if you do sign up, there's no security really, so you just sign up and you just make up a username and password. Does
Yeah,
that
I
answer
did
your
sign
question?
up for that. No. Actually, I already signed up actually for this.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm clear.
Here you are.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll follow you.
Oh.
All right, so I can follow everybody. I can go send messages. Okay. Do you have another question?
Um. Um. There is an example that is given on this assignment. That is http/localhost for Robin's Nest messages. What is that for?
Oh, let's see here.
Must have directions. It's in that.
All right, so this is create a diagram, create a sitemap of all pages. Okay. Identify
I'm
the
not in that. it is in the must-have directions, right? End product and then must-have directions at left side.
Over here?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, below. Below is a link.
When identifying the key web requests?
Yes.
Okay, so here, if let's go back. If we look here in the browser bar, that is
Okay.
friends.php,
Mhm.
which would map to this user interface, and then that would map to this PHP file.
Okay.
So that's what I mean, is that this PHP file maps to that web request and that user interface. And so when identifying the key web request, you can look up in the URL line in your browser and see this is your domain name, port number. You can call this the application name. It's really a directory. And then this is the you could call it the action part of the web request. And so part of what you should do is go map each of those web requests to you're going to create a sitemap. So a sitemap is where, let's just go Google sitemaps, because they always are very hierarchical. If we go look at an image of a sitemap, there's a good one. This would be an example of a website where here are the top level pages, and then here are the pages beneath. So we don't really have any of these sub pages. So what we would have is the root of the site, like the index.php, and then we would have members, friends, messages, and a few other things like that. We don't have in this case I don't know that we have a sub page that you can't get to only through one of these options. So our sitemap is fairly flat. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
That's. Thank you.
All right. Okay, going once, going twice. Alrighty. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye bye.
Thank
Thanks for your help.